Hello again, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I hope if you're not doing well, that you know that you are doing well. It can be easy right now to go into the vibration of fear. It can be easy to let other people tell us who we are, what to think, what our identity is. And so when we look inside, what do we see? We see our true self. But often what happens is we let other people's views of us, whether it was past or present, tell us who we are. We take the anger, the hurt, pain sometimes, instead of remembering all of the good things about us, our gifts, how far we've come, our lessons that we've learned. And sometimes we stay small because we believe that we aren't capable of better, because we've let someone else convince us that, or because we're waiting around for somebody else to tell us we're ready to step into our power. But what if we are ready? What if we have all we need? What if we have already walked through the life lessons? What if we've already done the inner work? What if we can celebrate the small successes in the right direction? What if on those days that we are walking in the right direction, we hesitate? What if we just gave it our all? What if we let go of fear and doubt and shame and guilt and unforgiveness of ourselves and others? What if our true calling is to share our truth, to tell the world our message in our way, a message made for this time, to awaken, to evolve, to ascend? We might be afraid to talk about it because some of our friends and family might not understand. They might call us crazy. They might say that we're wrong. But we can't let that stop us because our message needs to be heard. And now is the time to tell our stories in our way. Because we can't change the story that was. We can change the story that will be. We can even change the story that is. There's infinite ways of telling the story. So if we choose to tell it in a loving way, if we choose to see ourselves as a hero in our story, in the story of others, if we recognize who the heroes are and who the antagonists are, who is on our side and who is standing in the way of our goals, then we can become to recognize the hero journey. We can overcome the challenges. We can go through the climax of the story where we feel like we're about to lose everything. And then it turns and flips into the resolution of the story and the happy ending. And the happy ending doesn't need to look perfect. It can look messy. It can be painful. It can be hard. But it's beautiful. Nobody wants to watch a movie where the main character isn't overcoming a challenge. And all of the medicine, all of the solutions to our illnesses, mentally, physical, spiritual, are already here. There's a plant growing for every illness. There's a person waiting to be our friend. There's resources. And once we learn to be our own medicine, that could be the foods we eat, the people we surround ourselves with. It can be the communities we're in. It can be our job, our volunteer job. Our medicine is helping our neighbors, talking to that person at the bus stop, calling someone you love, saying sorry when we mess up, saying thank you a lot in our heads and our hearts to the ones we love, telling them how much we love them, seeing the good things in them, focusing on the good in life, coming back to gratitude. That's medicine. The rain is medicine, the sun, the forest, the air, nature, water, sleep, rest, contribution. If you look back and see the unique lessons that led you to today, if you stop and ask yourself, what is the lesson here I need to learn? What is the message I need to share? What is my intention today? What is my gift? What is my contribution? What is my story? What is my medicine? And it could be the tea, it could be the spices we put in our food. It could be the times that we say no to food, people, situations that no longer nourish us. Realizing that we can be high on life. We don't need addictions. We don't need to cause suffering. We can allow suffering. We can have contentment where we accept everything that is in a state of peace and understanding and wisdom and grace. And then we can sit with ourselves and listen in silence. Close our eyes and just listen and see what is here. And observe ourselves reacting to the world, observing the world. And in that way we begin to have non-attachment. Instead of clinging on every little thing that comes towards us, we begin to let go. And then the Maya, the illusion of the world, no longer has a hold on us. From that space, we create our reality. And we gather our people. And the more we raise our vibration, the more we will attract people into us at a similar vibration. And the more people that raise their vibration on the planet, the more people that awaken. And they say that 222 people are awakening on Earth every second. And realizing we're more than materialism, that we don't need to worship our doctors to ask for healing. We can go to them, we can ask for advice, we can contemplate what they tell us, we can have diagnosis, we can have treatment if we want, but they're not someone to give our power to. We can learn about the natural medicines, the food is medicine, the holistic therapies, the mind medicines of meditation and yoga and music and singing and dancing and drumming and community, or whatever it is that is your medicine. It might be visiting a lake. It might be going outside, getting your hands in the dirt. So many medicines, breath work. And so when we take a step back from our outer work, which is very important, to do our inner work, to say, what gives me peace today? What do I need most today? Do I need to read a book? Need to have a bath? Do I need to call a friend? What is it? And it's all balance. Balance in our bank account. Balancing the bank account of the body. So we want to be putting energy in. And we don't want to be wasting energy. We invest it. And so an investment of energy is I'm going to go for a walk. Because that will come back to us. We put out energy that comes back in. I'm going to eat a salad. I'm going to say no to the chips. And the more that we say yes to things that raise our chi, and the things that don't waste our chi, then we come into balance. And when we learn to see things for how they truly are, without the thought distortions, so you look at cognitive behavioral therapy, the CBT triangle of thoughts, behaviors, and emotions, each affects the other. And when we change one, we change the others. And so we can work on a thought level, affirmations like, I love my life, I love myself. Today is a beautiful day. Giving thanks, thank you, thank you, thank you. Speaking words of kindness, telling our friends what went well in our day, what we're grateful for, what we're looking forward to, what we noticed, focusing on the positive, being honest, being realistic. And emotions, doing things that raise our emotions or lower it, even center us, balance us, and regulate the nervous system so we feel safe. That will change your thoughts, that will change your behaviors. The easiest of the three to change is the behavior. So one small goal a day towards our dreams. Could be a business goal, could be a self-care goal, a relationship goal. Learning a new skill, and when we learn new knowledge and new skills, the physiology of our brains, they change. And we rewire our brain. We talk about neuroplasticity. We aren't just our genes that our parents gave us. Those genes get turned on in certain environments and turned off in certain environments. And brain matter and brain networks, they change, the synapses, the wiring. It's like getting an electrician in there and tinkering a little bit with different parts of the brain. So when we visualize something, parts of our brains act, they light up. I can visualize playing soccer, and I can actually go and play soccer, and the same parts of my brain are lighting up as if I'm doing it when I'm visualizing it. So when we look into our future and we visualize a future of peace and abundance, and then come out of that and become grateful for what we have now, it's like we're living it in the moment, and it can manifest and materialize easier because we've already experienced it in the non-physical world. And that's where we go and we sleep. And I can pray for dreams sometimes, and I'll have a vivid, beautiful dream, and I wake up and I write them down sometimes so I can remember because they're so beautiful. And I could say a prayer for a friend and then see miracles happen. I can send healing to people. I can send healing to myself. And as the earth awakens, we are learning to be our healer. We're learning to heal others, to come back into balance with the earth and those around us. We're meant to live in balance. And now, on planet Earth, as we have evolved consciously so fast, more and more stepping back into balance, realizing we're not just material beings, we're not just consumers. We don't need ads or media or government to tell us who we are anymore. If we watch media and we're afraid of what's happening, and most of what's on the media is about the bad things. We can forget about the amazing, beautiful things happening. I'm not saying don't watch media if that's your thing. I'm saying maybe go watch a cat video. Maybe go watch an inspiring podcast. And the astrological reports are saying that we're going to reach a tipping point soon. If more people are awake than asleep, then all of a sudden it becomes harder for the rest of us to stay asleep. Because once you see something, you can't unsee it. And once you know something, or you experience it, or you feel it, you can't go back. You can't play the innocent ignorant. You're told your responsibility. You're given, as a human being, immense responsibility. And so we ask ourselves, what do I do with this? Great honor and responsibility, because we don't need to stay small, because everything we do now affects everyone around us. It affects our children. It affects the unborn children that will come in the future. It might affect our ancestors that aren't here. It might affect our family that we don't even talk to. And so if you want to give a gift to those that you love, if you want to give a gift to those that have hurt you, that you hate, give them the gift of love, compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, empathy. See that they acted out of pain because they went through pain. Maybe they were reliving it, trying to resolve it. But now we are so aware that we don't need to recreate our parents' trauma to resolve it. We don't need to get into a relationship with a partner that mimics the relationship we might have seen in our parents, grandparents, uncles, whatever it was, to resolve it, because it's already resolved. There's nothing left to resolve. The burden isn't ours to carry. We can give it back. And we can be free. And imagine being free of burdens. If we have energy centers running through our body and we're hunched over like this all day, the phone, does that energy flow freely? What if we put the phone down for a while? Roll our shoulders back, open the heart center, and stand with dignity and confidence. Then the energy begins to flow freely through the body, through the mind. And then we create a sphere of protection around us, a bubble of love, kind of like a little home we carry. So if something happens around us, a fight, an argument, a siren, whatever it is, a thunderstorm, whatever it is, we don't take it in. Push it away. We surround ourselves in this bubble of protection that says, this is my energy, that's your energy, and I will not take it on because I love you. And in the past I may have taken it on thinking I'm helping you. But now we know that the best thing we can do for those that we love is to be there for them, to listen if it's safe, but not take on their burdens. Be strong and teach them to carry the responsibility of their choices in their life with a bit of ease, with a little bit of relaxation and play, with a little bit of awareness, a little bit of movement and fluidity, consciousness, and boundaries. That's your stuff, this is my stuff. We'll help each other. But I will not give you mine to carry, and you will not give me yours, because I love you, because I love myself. And when we don't take on more than we can handle, when we give ourselves spaces throughout the day to rest, to reflect, to regulate the nervous system, then we don't bring what's in our mind and the body. We keep it separate. We unite it together, but we acknowledge thoughts are just thoughts. We won't give them power. We won't let them control us. We won't just ask, what does the ego need? What does the mind need? We ask, what does the body need? And the mind might need to learn. And the body might need to move or be still. And the body might need water, and the mind might need a book or a podcast or something to learn, or a creative hobby. And we can ask, what does the spirit need? The spirit might need connection with others, honesty, nature, love, humility. And when the mind, body, and spirit work together in harmony, then we begin to sense a knowing of the path, begin to see it materialize in front of us, and we begin to walk through it, not run away from it, not hide, not stay still waiting for someone to tell us what to do, but an inner intuition that says, this is the next step. I don't need to see 100 feet in front of me. I have a flashlight walking through a forest on a camp trail trying to get to the washroom at night. Do I need my flashlight to show me the whole way? Or just the next few steps in front of me? And as we walk forward in little steps, you can look back, look to the side, look forward, up, down, and be like, oh, I'm not where I just was. I'm somewhere new. And then we realize each moment is new. Each breath, each day. Our skin changes if you get a cut and your body's healthy. Every day you watch it seal and the skin regrow and our organs, in our brains, in our gut, and all of it is constantly changing. And when it has what it needs, injuries, illness, it begins to harmonize, it begins to heal. You might not even see it right away, it might be so subtle, but we don't give up on the medicine. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't see it grow right away, but you keep watering it, you know. Eventually that little sprout comes up. So keep watering the garden of your mind, right? Be patient, be forgiving. If you mess up, learn. Have to take risks to grow. And we don't know what's coming. We don't need to know. But we know if we plant carrot seeds, we're going to get carrots. And when we surround ourselves with others that are living consciously, we begin to believe in ourselves more. We co-create the dream together. And that's the best part. On that note, I'm going to wrap up. I seen a beautiful purple orb come to greet us. And that's a good time to say thank you for listening. I love you all. If this resonated with you and you want to comment, like, subscribe, or share. It really helps me make more of these. My intention with these videos is to uplift, inspire you to look within and find your own answers and your own connection with the divine, your own tools and your own medicines. And may we all be medicine people. People who live in a way of nourishment, not just for us, but for the earth, the people, the plants, the animals. And together we will harmonize. And I still struggle with fear and anxiety and depression and all these labels they want to throw at me and say, you're this and you fit in this box and this is the treatment and that's an illness and these are hallucinations and it's all not real, it's a mental illness. And I want you to know, I don't need to identify as mentally ill because someone told me I am. I'm human. This is what it means to be human, and even my illnesses, my weaknesses are my strengths because they show me my shadow side and my areas to work on and nourish and grow. If I didn't have those weaknesses, I wouldn't have become who I am. I had to walk through the fire. I had to walk through the darkness. And so I'm grateful. But I'm also ready to let that go and identify as complete and whole and not have to worry about, will the world accept the new me? Will people still love me? Will I still get attention? Will I still get shown empathy, compassion, care if I fully became a butterfly? And they don't go and cut the cocoon open because the butterfly wings only grow strong in the process of metamorphosis. And so if you're still in the cocoon stage of your life, be patient. Grow within the cocoon, because one day when that cocoon opens, your wings will be strong. And you can imagine the freedom to fly around the earth with angel wings, the full expression of who you are, the full expression of your love, your compassion, your wisdom, your harmony. And then you become the medicine. If the earth grows the medicine and the earth grows the people, maybe we can become the medicine for each other. And so I'm working with the plant medicines, I'm working with the food medicines, I'm working with the medicine of music, storytelling, all of it. So find your medicine and be that medicine for those that you love. And it may taste bitter, but even bitter has a property of healing. It's not always sweet, it's not always delicious, but you could make a green smoothie and put in some bitters and be like, oh, this is awful. But after a few weeks of taking that every day, your body and your mind changes and your taste bud changes and you're like, this is delicious. Because you knew that it nourished you and you stuck with it. So stick with those things that take you out of your shell. They might make you uncomfortable. They might push you to your limits. But that's how we get strong. I go to the gym every week. I lift weights. I do yoga. I do Pilates now, bar class. And at first I was like, this is painful, I want to quit. And then over time I'm like, this hurts so good. And I stuck with it, and now I have muscles in flexibility. And it's like my body's become younger. and I step on the scale, and it looks at the fat around my organs, it looks at my mineral level, my protein level, it looks at the balance of muscles in my body. And most of it's just at the optimal state. And so if I can maintain the optimal state of health, these are new machines to balance vitamins, minerals, protein, probiotics in the gut. If I have, because our bodies are designed to need optimal levels of things. This is what the government says. 150 minutes a week of aerobic exercise, preferably 3 times a week of at least 30 minutes. Weight bearing exercise for strong bones. And we know in our diet how much magnesium, calcium, iron, B12 that we need. And we know how much sugars we need and how much is too much. We know how much fiber we need. We know how much essential fatty acids we might roughly need. And so if things are too high or too low, we can come out of balance. We can exercise too much, we can exercise too little, we can have too much water, we can have too little. We can work too hard, we can neglect our kids, we can love our kids, we can work in balance, we can imagine a world, imagine your life where every single area is in balance. I give, I receive. I awaken, I sleep. I work, I rest. I play, I create. I learn, I teach. And so when we are given this knowledge and this wisdom, it's a great responsibility. The Bible says in Spider-Man movie, with great privilege comes great responsibility. The more you are given, the more that will be expected of you. If I go to herb school, which I did for 500 hours, and I don't use what I learned or teach others, pass it on, I've come out of balance of the ecosystem. If you go to the forest, every plant, fungi, animal, insect, it all lives in balance, ideally, if you have a place of harmony. It's a bit different in a desert, but most places, if you look in the oceans and the rivers, unless humans have went in, changed things, usually things are in balance. Even the marine life and the algae and the seaweeds. If you look in the soil, dandelions show up to nourish certain areas of the soil. They're no longer considered an invasive weed here. They're one of our greatest medicines, actually. Dandelion leaves and the root is medicinal. And so the worms, they aerate the soil. They put holes and oxygen in the soil. And the fungi roots, they have a purpose. And there's this whole network under the soil of roots and fungi and everything living in balance. Even the tiger and the bear that chase us are part of a beautiful ecosystem. They're not our enemies. They just want to eat and survive and live, and they're beautiful. And their poop goes back to the earth as compost and nourishment, and the berry seeds they eat travel through them and get planted somewhere else to grow there. The bees that we complain about and we fear, they actually pollinate the flowers so that the male and female plants can merge and birth new life. And so we must have a great respect for the balance of everything. A deep reverence, a deep sense of gratitude for the sacredness, the divinity of life. And I see energy everywhere. When I look around the room, I don't see just material things. I can see light moving constantly. I see spirits, I see colors. And so the spirit world for me is alive and real. It's surrounding us. If our prayers are being answered by the divine sending angels to our loved ones, our ancestors, I don't know. There's something really beautiful and sacred going on, and we can tap into that. And we aren't just meant to watch TV, Facebook, work, and go to bed. The time is the old way. If that works for you, beautiful. Maybe you've already awakened. Maybe you're already a loving parent, a loving spouse, and that's your life, and that works for you. But for me, I need to meditate. I need to do yoga. I need to read spiritual books, watch spiritual podcasts, be around spiritual people, sing together, chant together. I need to feed my soul. But we all do that in our own way, and that's the beauty. And some go to church and some don't. But don't go to church and tell me that I'm wrong for not being the same as you, because if we were all the same, we would be robots. The world would be boring. That's why when we do our spiritual practices, we need to do it in our own way. We don't want to be a clone. We don't give our power away to a teacher or a healer. We can go to them for healing, but we don't say, tell me what to do. We don't try to do everything they tell us to do. Because we are our healer, we are our teacher, and they only show us what's already inside of us. A great teacher will not say, bow down and do everything I say. A great teacher will say, how do I help you hear your inner voice, your connection to divine, your intuition? Let me show you what's already inside of you and be a mirror and hold that up in front of your eyes and your heart, your conscious awareness, to reflect back to you. It's already been inside of you all along. The healers, they're not giving you any new energy. They're tapping from the source, and we don't have to go to them to connect to source because we already have the connection. They just open those channels so the connection is stronger. And so if a teacher comes into our life, ask, what are we giving back to them? What are we teaching them? Because it's a two-way. Every great teacher will acknowledge that the student is the teacher and the teacher the student. And we're all just students in the great school of life. Teachings can be hard, and the lessons and the exams, but if we graduate one day and we earn our place amongst the most divine, we can look back and say, wow, it was worth it. It was worth every effort, every tear. I almost died. I didn't make it. Maybe I died a million times before just to get here and have another chance. Finally make it, but I want to do it in this life, and I don't want to have to come back. And I don't have to go somewhere another body, leave my body to learn the lessons. I want to learn them while I'm here. And I'm not going to give up on them. And they're not easy. But if I can come share the message with you guys and say, hey, this is what I'm learning, maybe it'll help you learn. And then I'll go to some teachers and watch some podcasts about the new earth and heaven and near-death experiences and telepathy and angel awareness and talking to the Palladians. Because all these podcasts are talking about people channeling other dimensional beings. And they're all getting similar messages from similar people, and some are unique and some are different. But it's a shared experience of collective consciousness. If enough people dream the same dream, then the rest of the world will say, okay, I believe you now. Because if the minority are saying, hey, peace, love, unity, respect, and they change one person at a time that says, hey, will you join us because we love you? And then that person begins to shift. And then someone in their life goes, wow, you're really different. What's going on? And it might be a perspective change. It might be a lifestyle change. It might be a community change. It might be a career change. It might be a relationship change. But whatever it is, people walk out of your life. If job situations walk out of your life, let them go. We are always evolving, and things will fall out of our life that can no longer help us evolve. People will fall out. And instead of holding on to them and wishing things were different, it's time to accept that that was for our evolution and that we're better off without them. Better off without that job. We're better off without that. Whatever it is. And at first it's painful, it's hard, and we go through mourning and we grieve. But over time we look back and say, now I see why I went through that. If everything we go through is the perfect recipe of our evolution, if you go look on the top chefs of the world, top cookbooks, top restaurants, top chef schools, they create a new recipe so unique, so delicious. And the perfect recipe, it's going to be healthy, natural, unique, nourishing. It's going to use local foods. It's going to use love. And when you eat it, it's so delicious. And when you're done eating it, are you going to sit there and be sad that it was over? Are you going to rejoice that that was a beautiful meal and you get another one again tomorrow? Coming back to the gratitude, the non-attachment. This is why we're here. To learn to master our minds. Master the art of letting go. The art of letting flow. The art of letting yourself know. The body knows. It will tell you what's good and bad. It will tell you who is good for you. It will tell you what foods and medicine are good. It will tell you what it needs. Anxiety, mental health, depression, they are not our enemies. They are our teachers. It's a beautiful, amazing, sophisticated nervous system where everything works together. Everything regenerates. And we have algorithms in the body of exactly what we need. We need to move, we need to breathe, we need to stretch, we need to walk, As hunter and gatherers, we were constantly moving around. That's how we survived. We're not meant to stay still. We're meant to open. And so, give yourself what you need. Put your hand on your heart, close your eye, and say, what do I need today? And listen. Love you all. Thank you.